Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 90. Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy New Year's. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got Nick Davis and Emron Khan with me. Full Hizzy, full everybody in the house. What's up, guys?
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year.
Yeah, what'd you guys do for New Year's? How was your NYE?
Barely made it to midnight. I was sitting there at 11 like, man, I'm so ready to go to sleep. But as soon as midnight hit, did the kiss with Allie and, went to bed and got ready for today. So it was pretty chill.
Yeah, same. The older you get, I feel like the harder it is to stay up. I remember, being, God, I feel like that old guy now. 10 years ago,
yeah, right.
All night. Now I'm just like, oh, fuck. Yeah, I have to stay up till midnight. It's going to be the same.
Yeah, I mean, that's I'm getting there. I'm getting there too. Getting there up in the years at 11 o'clock Eastern. I was just like, all right, let's get it going here. Come on, where's the ball? We turned on, what is it, Anderson Cooper on ABC or NBC or something like that. Those dudes were fucking lit. They were wasted. So that was pretty funny until the last 5 minutes, as the ball dropped. So that was cool. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year's. Thanks for riding with us. It's been a fun, first half of this season. We're, diving into some other stuff as we're closing down football here, and we're into week 17. So we're going to be going through our game previews for this week, touching on, the totals, the spreads, money line, all that good stuff. I guess we're going to just take it away with the non-playoff implication games first to get those guys out of the way. Before we do, go ahead and like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Really appreciate that, guys. What game do you want to jump into first? Non-playoff implications, Jets, Patriots?
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
Yeah, that's really at the bottom there of least concern, right? Jets, Patriots, let's see. We're looking at a 3-point spread. Patriots are still favored here, minus 155. I don't like it. New York Giants are plus 135. Totals at 39.5. Instantly, what do you guys think about the total? What do you think, Nick?
Honestly, I think it's kind of low. 39. I think that's the lowest that we have seen this year.
You don't see threes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's a little low considering the success that the Jets have had. The Patriots, they really haven't generated too much offense, but at 39 points, you don't really need too much offense from both sides. One side can get 20 points, or the other side can get 19, or that kind of route. I'm saying that the Jets are going to win this one. I've kind of been calling them to upset somebody, and it finally upset the Rams. And I just think that the Patriots, it's kind of, they're kind of packing it in. I think Bill's more likely to want a higher pick in the draft than to rush to the middle. So, yeah, I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, it's weird to say, right? The Jets are actually on a winning streak. They've won 2 in a row. And I think they're going to make it 3 in a row. I'm with Nick. The Patriots, they don't look good, right? They can only run the ball, and even that, they're not doing as well as they were earlier in the year. Can't really pass. I don't have anybody to pass to. They do not look like the Patriots we've known for the last 2 decades. Jets, have some pieces that are really intriguing. Unfortunately, no Frank Gore this week, guys. We might have seen him play his last game. If it is, hell of a career. He's going to finish as third rusher of all time. This total in this game is really weird. When you see, like we were saying earlier, 3. I'm actually going to take the under because I think this is just going to be a really ugly 17-13 game. Just get the season over already. So I'd say I'll take the Jets plus 3 and I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets to win money line. I'm going to take the plus money here. I like the value. The Jets, winning 3 games in a row to end the year, be the most Jet thing ever, right? Just to play your way, just keep backing it up. Keep backing up the draft selection. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it simple here. Take the Jets to win. The Patriots, like you said, both of you, they're bad. They've just looked really bad in the past weeks. Yep. We don't know what quarterback's going to be in there, if Cam's going to start, how long he's going to be in there. Stidham, not impressive. And Darnold really seems to be rolling with his receivers. They don't really need that much of a running game to put up a couple of points here. And the Patriots offense, if they do have any running efficiency left in them, the Jets are pretty good up front. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Jets to win here. The over, I think the total, I think I'm going to go with the over here. I think it's just, like we said, too low. I feel like Yeah, 4 quarters of football, that's tough for me for under 40 points. I'm gonna take the over 39.5. I think that number is just too low. But sometimes when the books, they set it like that, when you see like 56 or 57, take the over, just take it. When you see the 39.5, just take the under. I kind of feel that they're setting it up to be that low scoring game. So maybe we should just follow that trend. But I feel like we're going to get caught there with our pants down. So I'm going to take the over there too.
The Jets have just been scoring points recently. So, I mean, I definitely see the offense production, which sounds really weird. The offense production is going to come from the Jets and the Jets-Patriots game. So that's why I'm going to take the over on that.
Yep. I feel the same way. Next one up, we got Minnesota Vikings and the Lions. 7-point spread here. Don't have a money line yet, but we have a total of 54 points. Instantly, I'm leaning towards the under there. What do you guys think?
I'm with you on the under. Dalvin Cook's not going to play, unfortunately. Tragically lost his dad this week, so thoughts with him and his family. The Lions, I don't know if they officially announced it or not. I know Kenny Galladay's out. No surprise there. He's missed the whole year, basically. Stafford, he's had a problem finishing the last 2 games, so I don't know if he's going to play. There's really no reason to play him. So Chase Daniel, Dalvin Cookless Vikings, I'm with you. 54 is a high total. I mean, you can still see a fun game and be well under that total. So I'm going to take the under. And I think for the spread in the game, I guess I'll take the Vikings because they'll still have Thielen and Jefferson. But the Lions are the Lions. You just never know what you're going to get from them.
What do you think, Nick?
I think that the Lions are going to cover 7. Recently, DeAndre Swift has popped off, and his stats have definitely been in those elite categories. Not saying that he's top echelon of running backs in the NFL right now, but with how bad Alvin Kamara beat the shit out of Minnesota Vikings defense, I think it's absolutely possible to get 3 touchdowns out of DeAndre Swift alone. And then it's Kirk Cousins is always going to try and air the ball out to Thielen and Jefferson, to 2 big targets in Minnesota, and without Dalvin Cook there, that's more reason to pass. They're going to use Madison to really just try and set the tone for the play action, but they're going to use their targets and use their weapons. Their defense is nothing great. They're going to be really beat up, and I think DeAndre Swift is going to take advantage of it with everybody else being out.
Yeah, I can get with that. I think that you just want to pick your winner here, and once they give you a money line, I think you'll just get better value on that. So we don't have that up in front of us right now. I think that the Vikings are just going to win the game. And if they don't have a lineup right now, I have to feel like they're going to give us pretty good odds. I'm not really that interested in the Lions this week. Not a lot of DFS, maybe Swift, but Hawkinson, not so much. Not with Chase Daniel there. Marvin Jones, same thing. Just not with them. Vikings this week, I think there's some solid, like DFS plays. Thielen, Jefferson, like you guys mentioned, maybe even Kirk Cousins, because he's a quarterback that could, obviously play all 4 quarters, right? And if they're passing a lot, Alexander Madison doesn't really do anything for me. Nope. Anything for you guys? No. You
know who's actually been sneaky for the Vikings offense the last few weeks? Irv Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
Got him in my DFS lineup this week.
He's a sneaky guy. They invested a 2nd-round pick in him. I think this is the end of his 2nd year. So that's somebody. I don't know what they're going to do with Kyle Rudolph next year, but that could be a player to watch next year. He's had some really good games recently.
Yeah, 2 touchdown games.
Yep. Kyle Rudolph, go away, man. Like, just holding back Irv Smith. I mean, he's a lockdown guy there at the tight end position for the Vikings, right? Like he's solid for them, but at the same time, I feel like he's kind of held back Irv Smith's progression.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings could actually cover 7 in this one, just because I believe that the Lions at some point they're just not going to be able to keep pace with the Vikings. So I'll take the Vikings to cover 7, but preferably I like the under. And just whenever I get a money line, I feel like I'll just take the Vikings money line. I think that'll be pretty simple for me. What's the next one? We got the
teams that are out of the playoffs.
Chargers, Chiefs.
Yeah, we could do that because the Chiefs are clinched, but I think they set everybody.
Yeah, me and Nick were talking about that. They're running like the whole second string, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so what do you think here in that game? I have to feel like the Chargers could potentially cover 3.5.
The Chargers are probably going to win. I mean, Chiefs. They don't have nothing to play for.
Right.
And I don't even know who's going to start. So I'd probably just pick the Chargers straight up.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to pull out a random win because the Chargers can blow just about a game anyway.
Chargers going to charge.
Yeah, and they're 3.5-point favorites. Even with the Chiefs, I mean, they still have some depth on their team. It's like a rotation almost. They don't have just like on the offensive side, they have those guys that are definitely going to be the stars in the playbook, but they still have guys on the second team that can still ball, and the Chargers aren't exactly in even the top half of the NFL. So I'm going to say Chargers are going to charge and Chiefs going to pull out a win.
I could see it. I mean, the Chargers have been really bad, and they just found ways to lose all year long. What do you guys think about the total of 44 points?
I think it's low because special teams for the Chargers have been really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where they're going to fail. I think that's where the extra points are going to come for the Chiefs, and the Chargers are just going to have to keep pace, and it's going to really bump that number up high. So I think I'm going to take the over on it.
I'm going to take the under. Last week, I was really hoping for the Broncos and Chargers to have a shootout. They've never a high-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
I think my hunch in this game is that the Chiefs aren't really going to have like any starters playing, so they're not really going to. I don't think they're really going to care for this game much. So I think Chargers will have some points, but the Chiefs aren't going to do their part in this game.
I could see that. I don't really know what to expect from the second group, right? We got, was it Chad Henne at quarterback? Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Man, he's still in the NFL?
He's still there.
I was going to say Matt Moore, but I was like, I don't think it's Matt Moore anymore. Somebody else.
Well, wasn't he the quarterback at Michigan when they got upset by Appalachian State?
Ooh.
That he is correct. He was
him, Mike Hart.
2007.
Mike Hart. Damn, I haven't heard that name in a while. I know Jake Long was their tackle.
Braylon Edwards was there, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was such a big upset. I remember as a kid watching that. And that just brought back some memories. But
I was a freshman in college. I remember it too.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was a freshman in community college.
Yeah.
Go Parkland Cobras.
Did you bet on that game?
I was not gambling at that time. In 2007, I was not gambling yet. I would either be a lot better or, nowhere near the show if that was the case, Could have gone either way. I'm going to just take the Chargers to win. I don't have a money line pick here, but I don't want to mess with the spread just simply like what we've talked about already. Like the narrative for the Chargers this year, they've just not been able to get it done. Could lose, in a last-second field goal, fourth quarter, just drought, right?
Stranger stuff, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just take the Chargers to win, maybe not put a ton on it. The over... Man, it's tough for me to not say the Chiefs still can't do it. They do have a lot of depth there, but I just don't trust them. I'm going to stay away, but I think I'm going to go with the under as well. Let's see. The next one up that we have, I think, is Saints-Panthers.
Yep.
Saints-Panthers. We got a 6.5-point spread here and another non-playoff implication game. The Saints coming in as road favorites, minus 300. Total here is 47.5. We'll start there. What do you guys think about the total?
I think that total's a good number. I'm going to take the over in this one. The Panthers all year, they've just been a pain in the ass for everybody. They don't go away.
Right.
But this week it's going to be a little more challenging. No Mike Davis or CMC this week. But I think Teddy and the boys can still, put up a little bit of points. I think they're going to keep this game close. I think Saints will win, but I think this is going to be an exciting one.
Bryce is in the chat here, said he couldn't recognize you just yet, Nick. Still getting familiar. Wishing us a Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Bryce.
What's going on, Bryce?
Didn't quite see that, sir. Thanks for coming out and riding with us here on New Year's Day. I think that there's going to be enough offense here. I think there should be to hit the over. And I feel like the Panthers might be a sneaky win.
It's absolutely possible. They got a third running back in Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore, Roby Anderson. They have been, having some stats together. And I think that they could pull it off with, I consider the Saints pass defense really strong, but I consider their rush defense kind of poor.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes it hard to really judge how a team's going to go against their defense. So I think they're going to cover 6.5 points. I think it's going to be a 3 to 1 point or 1 to 3 point game. And I think that exactly how everyone said, they're going to be a thorn in the Saints side.
One thing, even though the Panthers are out of it, the Saints still have an outside shot at the 1 seed. So Saints do need this game. So they got to come out to firing, but I think the Panthers would love nothing more to screw with their division rival. Yeah,
I'm gonna put my money there. I'm gonna put the Panthers just to win. No, I'll put it to cover. Just to put the 6.5. I'll just put them to cover. I think that's a little bit safer. The Saints, I don't trust Drew Brees.
No,
his arms.
I don't like what I see.
And the other thing too, guys, it's in Carolina. Outdoor game, January.
Yep.
Drew Brees, no Michael Thomas.
I don't love it for the Saints. I don't think they're in a great spot. If they told me Taysom Hill was going to be the starter, I'd be backing up a little bit. I'd be backing down from that take. But I'm going to take the Panthers to cover the spread. I might throw a few shekels at the money line. To be honest with you, plus 250. It's really good value. But this is the NFL. Crazy stuff happens in these. It
would shock me.
Yeah. I mean, they could be winning and even blow the cover on the last drive. So yeah, I think I'll just take the Panthers to win, and I'll take the over there.
Yep.
Seahawks 49ers is the next one. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I see this game being very similar to the one we just talked about.
Mhm.
Spread's identical, 6.5. But the Niners are another team that, with all those injuries, that defense and that team just plays so hard, so well coached. Seattle's another team where, if with a couple of the Bears win, I think a couple of the Bears win and the Panthers win. If they win, they'd get the number 1 seed.
Oh.
So they're another team they're still fighting for. They have an outside shot at the 1 seed. But the Niners, we saw what they did last week to the Cardinals, right? The Cardinals are fighting for their playoff lives this week because they lost. I'm gonna also take the Niners here to cover that 6.5 at home. Would not be shocked if they won out, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to take the 49ers to win the game. I think CJ Beathard had definitely shown a lot in the last game. He didn't have extreme high yardage for passing, but he did have those, I think it was 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And Kittle, didn't have a touchdown, but had 95 yards, 8 receptions. It's kind of interesting how the 49ers are built, man. Like they have such strong ones, but the guys right behind the ones are always fighting. Like they're very similar.
Dogs.
They're very similar to the Panthers. They're always trying to fight. They're always trying to be in those games. And with Seattle, if Russ is on, nobody can stop the Seahawks. But it's a division game, and I think that Russ is going to have a little bit of trouble. And I think Beathard's going to be a little bit different for the Seattle defense, and is going to put a wrench in their plans. It's not like they're playing Jimmy Garoppolo twice a year. They played Nick Mullins one game. Now they're playing CJ Beathard. So we'll see how it goes. But I think that the 49ers can pull off a win.
I'm going to have them cover. I don't know if I'm ready to call the W just yet, because I do still feel like the Seahawks need to get things rolling, and their defense has actually kind of come on recently. I've been respectable. Only allowed 12 points to the Rams a week ago. It was pretty solid in a must-win game. So I'm going to take the Niners to cover 6.5. I think Seattle still wins, and I'm going to take the over here. I think that the 49ers provide enough offense to hit the over of 46 points, and I think that we're treated to a pretty good game regardless, whether the Niners need to be in or out. So I like it. Next one up, we got the Raiders and the Broncos.
Yep.
Looking at 2.5 spread for the Raiders, favored on the road. Sorry, minus 153 on the money line. Broncos plus 133. We got a total of 51 points. Wow. Instantly, I'm feeling the under and a Broncos money line win. What do you guys think?
I don't see Broncos pulling off a win.
Okay.
I definitely don't see that. I see the Raiders covering, but I see the under happening. Carr hasn't exactly been on fire. They just got eliminated last week, so
right.
I could definitely see Gruden having Carr in the first half just to see what he gets out of him for the rest of the year, and then if it's kind of like a blowout or he's struggling, I see Mariota coming in absolutely, because they got to see what they have in Mariota. See one more look of live NFL games until next year. I see the Raiders winning in this game, but it's going to be the under, because I thought that, like Emron, the Broncos and the Chargers last week were going to go off, and they didn't. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, it's week 17, so it's only fitting for me to die on my sword here. I'm going to take the over here. I just think both teams are out of it. They're just going to – I think it's going to be a shootout, like an old-school AFC West shootout. Would not be surprised if this ends up being like a 14-10 game, and it's the shit show. Raiders, man, what a fall from grace. They upset the Chiefs.
They looked so good earlier in the year.
This point, they were like 5-3 or 6-3, and I was like, okay, they're gonna get that wild card, and they're gonna be a problem with Josh Jacobs. They had offense, their defense looked like it was improving, and they just fell off a cliff. I think they would have lost 4 or 5 straight had they not had that miracle win against the Jets. So I'm going to take the Broncos here. I think the Raiders just tailspin. And I do think I agree with Nick. They got to see what they have in Mariota, because this is going to be, I think, the end of Gruden's second year, right? In Vegas. So what are they going to do at quarterback, right? Do they get aggressive in the offseason? He did sign a 10-year contract, but what is he doing? Are they going to stay with Carr? Or are they going to get aggressive in the draft and trade up?
This was a team that was looking at Tom Brady, in the offseason. So I'm interested to see what they do there. Yeah, like I said, I like the Broncos money line as well. I'm going to take the under there. I don't really want to play with the spread because, like you said, it could be one of those 14-10 games. It could wind up into something more high scoring, but I feel like the Broncos defense will come to play more so than the Raiders, and I think that they make a few extra stops and just pull out the victory. So I feel honestly that's where my safest money is. The Broncos win it. Yeah. They're at home. They're going to Mile High. The Raiders are already out. Maybe they show up and they play with some pride, but I don't think it gets it done. I think that the Broncos hold a little bit more leverage on the defensively on the side of the ball. So. I think that's the last of the non-playoff implication matchups.
Yeah, there's these two games that kind of fall into the same ilk as your Saints Panthers and your Niners Seahawks. One of them is being the Browns and the Steelers. The Steelers, I think they had an outside shot still at the 2 seed. And it looks like they're sitting everybody. They got Mason Rudolph starting this week. Last I checked, I had the Browns a 10-point favorite at home against the Steelers.
10-point favorite.
It's basically one of those where Steelers have kind of showed their hand a little early that they're sitting everybody.
Right.
So I think the Browns are going to win. I think when the Browns clinch the playoffs the first time, I think in 14 years, I think it is. So good on them. Don't know what the spread, but what do you guys think in that game?
Take the Browns to win, right? Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
It seems so simple and might just blow up.
Oh man, that would mean Mason Rudolph has to blow up.
No,
or maybe one of their runners comes back down to earth and actually does something.
I don't know. Like the heat behind the Browns this year has been like ultra high. Like Kevin Stefanski came in and really has just opened up Baker Mayfield and has really shown that this offense can actually do something. But these last couple of games he's really struggled.
It's tough with that COVID though. That COVID game I feel is so unfair.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one thing I wanted to add on with Nick, because this is one of the points I wanted to make this week too, is that Stefanski's doing such a great job with them. After they lost Odell, the team was doing great. And like you mentioned, the COVID thing last week, right?
That shit was so messed up.
You would think, when you lose every single one of your receivers, and you have arguably two top 10 running backs. You probably wouldn't throw 50 times, right, with practice squad receivers.
That's definitely not what we were anticipating. That's not what we were talking about.
And I thought that was just going to be a game where they kind of did what the Saints did when the Saints went into Denver and Denver didn't have quarterbacks. And all right, we're going to run the ball like 40 times with Chubb and Hunt, grind it out, get an ugly win, and get out of here. And when they were throwing, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, the answer is right in front of you. Like, use your horses, right? So
they were trying to use their tight ends as receivers. They were lining up Harrison Bryant and Njoku outside the numbers. I was like, guys, I get it. I know what you're trying to do here. It's not going to work. Like,
I think they got that away from it. I thought Kevin Stefanski is one of my guys, along with Flores, that was favorites for like Coach of the Year. He kind of lost it last week, but like Nick said, they should win. But
Brown's going to Brown.
I hope not. I would love to see him in the playoffs, but.
I'm going to take him to win. I'm going to take the under. I don't have a number in front of me, but I'm going to take the under. Browns win and the under. I might parlay it. What's the next one that we may not have up on the board so we can kind of pull it off?
The Colts and the I'm sorry, not the Colts.
We have that one on the board. Yeah, Houston and the Titans.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
right division, wrong teams.
So I'm all over the Titans this week.
Yeah.
I'm rolling in DFS some Tannehill, some Derrick Henry, some AJ Brown. Give me all of them. They're gonna bring it home this week.
Guys. Let me go to our friends at DraftKings and see if they have some odds. Last I checked when I was writing my bets article this week, it was Titans 7.5. There's also some question on if they're gonna have Deshaun Watson play this week, just because he's just been poor guy. He's been playing his ass off. He's having an awesome year for the conditions he's in, but he's been getting wrecked every week. There's no reason for him to play in this game. They have to protect him from himself. So 7.5 was the last line I saw. Right now, our friends at DraftKings, we are sitting at, it's still 7.5 with the over-under set at 56.
I'm going to buy that down to 7. I don't like the half. I don't like that hook. I like this. I like 7. I like a touchdown. Give it to me, but I do not like that hook. I don't like the 8 points. I do think that the Titans blow them out. That's why I'm investing in DFS in that space. Obviously, we don't have – do you have a total?
Yeah, 56.
I don't know. If Deshaun Watson's out, I'm taking the under. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under. It's very rare that the Titans offense actually gets off like 40 points. They have done it, and
I'd still put them under 40 in this game. Like I like 30 to 34. I like that a lot.
I can see that, and I don't see 14 points coming out of the Houston Texans.
34-10. Let's go.
The AJ McCarron-led Houston Texans.
Oh, man.
Put some respect on AJ McCarron's name. It's not DiNucci.
I will do no such thing.
It's not DiNucci.
No, but in this game, I'm with you guys. The Titans got embarrassed last week, right? They had their ass kicked in Green Bay. They win. They win the division. Pretty simple, right? I think they're going to come out. You see a big game from Derrick Henry. And I think they win this game comfortably. The hook scares me, but I think if Watson's not playing, I'm all over this, and I'm taking the under because I don't think I'm with you guys. I see a big game for the Titans, but Texans not so much.
Yeah, like I said, I want all the Titans in DFS. I think Corey Davis is still a good option, but I'm just rolling with the big ticket. I'm going with AJ Brown, hoping for a big week. He's practicing in full, so he's 100% this week. Not something you always see is AJ Brown practicing on a Thursday. So let's go, fire him up. A lot of confidence in him for DFS this week.
So let's stay in the division. What do you guys think about the Colts and Jaguars? It's really weird with all the fun we've made of the NFC.
Keep it simple, right?
There's a very good chance the Colts could go 11-5 and miss the playoffs.
That's bullshit.
Even in
so terrible.
Even in a 7-seed playoff format, they can go 11-5 and miss the playoffs. How much does that suck? And why are they going to miss the playoffs? Because of what happened in Week 1. They lost the Jags.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, every week counts, right? But this week specifically, we're looking at 14-point spread. We're looking at minus 1,400 for the Colts. I know where we're all going here.
Jaguars.
And the under.
Give me that plus 800 all day.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, I think Jaguars are one of those teams that know how to tank. They've just been getting their ass handed to them by The Ravens beat them by 20-30. The Bears beat them by 34. I think this is going to be a blowout win. Yeah. They're sitting everybody. They're ready for the Trevor Lawrence experience.
Give me the under. That's the only value that I see in the game. The 14 points. Damn. The 14 points. I mean, the Colts could be completely up in garbage time and get back down to 13, and they won't care. It won't matter. That's not going to affect their playoff hopes. So, yeah, give me the under there. Give me the Colts. Keeping it pretty simple. That's going to be terrible if the Colts don't make it in with that record. That's just awful. It's not right.
Shame,
we got to convert to the tournament format here, where best records get in all around. I mean, football team's going to get in. That's cool and all because of their the storyline of the division. Maybe a few things around the team, Alex Smith, Ron Rivera, but they have no purpose being in the playoffs.
No.
None whatsoever. Give me the tournament. Let's go. Next matchup. What do we got? How about Dallas and the Giants?
I think that this line is way too low. I think Dallas is going to blow out the Giants because Giants offense has just struggled. I've been watching Darius Slayton all year because I had him on my team and I wrote about it at the beginning of the season. He has big play potential, but Danny Jones just cannot get the ball to him. And I remember seeing, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the guy got a wheel route and he had open field with his speed and he went out of bounds. And I was like, dude, you used up your one catch, man. He only got one target. Sterling Shepard's good. I like Sterling Shepard. I like Wayne Gallman. I like what they're doing. But Dallas is kind of rolling right now. I think that after basically taking it to the Pittsburgh Steelers the week before that they lost has really amplified that team. And I think that their offense last week looked very, very strong. And the Giants' defense isn't exactly the best. They're young. They got Peppers and McKinney. McKinley has just came back from injury that was supposed to be basically season-ending. Is Bradbury out?
He's out.
He's out too.
Yeah, Bradbury's
he's
out.
definitely out. So definitely, I'm gonna take the over because it's 44.5, and I think that at least 30 points can come out of Dalton and those receivers. Zeke's also running pretty angry too. So give me Dallas covering 2, with the win and the over.
Yeah, I like all that. I'm going to take the Cowboys money line. I'm going to stay away from the spread because it's a playoff implication, type of situation here. The Cowboys could blow them out, but they could win by 1 still at the end of the day. Because at the same time, they have some inefficiencies too, right? Andy Dalton has been really good, but he's a guy that can make a mistake, and they're playing on the road. So I'm going to take the Cowboys to win, and I'm going to take the over. Dalton and company, they've just looked like the more consistent team in recent weeks. So I'm going there, and they need the win. If they don't win, they're out. If they win, they have a shot. They would still need the football team to lose. What do you think, Imran?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. A -2, I'm not going to mess around with that. I'm just going to take Dallas straight up. The $24 doesn't make a difference to me.
Like Nick said, the odds are just there for you. -134. It should be bigger.
Yeah, and I don't understand why because they also beat up on the Niners who have pretty good defense too. So they've been playing good, and I'm with you on the over. Same thing last week against the Eagles. I think the total was set at 46. They blew it out of the water. Dallas's defense still isn't that great, so Giants can still find a way to get a big couple of plays here. Give me the Cowboys and the over.
Yeah, I like it. Any DFS plays you guys like for the Cowboys? Maybe a sneaky Tony Pollard play?
Gallup.
Michael Gallup?
I was going to say CD.
CeeDee Lamb?
I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
CD's had a lot of. I've seen him get basically like Curtis Samuel rushing attempts. You know, the jet sweeps, and he did. I think he did take one last week for a touchdown. So they might just keep incorporating that because basically keeping the defenses off balance. And CeeDee Lamb has enough speed to be able to do that. He's not just a receiver; he's a weapon. Like they have him also returning kicks as well. So I agree with CD, but I also agree with any of those receivers you can take.
That's what I was
take your pick. You know,
last week they all ate. I think they all had big games, and it was like a glimpse of
what it could be.
This offense should have been with Dak. Like, this should have been like a
record-setting year.
They should have been right up there with the Packers and the Chiefs with all those weapons they have on offense.
It's an offense that also led the league last year in total production on offense. So it's like, we were just kind of expecting that too with the the upgrades, right?
And the additions.
And then we saw guys like Tony Pollard come along. What could that have been behind Zeke with Dak there? Like
a 1-2 punch.
Exactly.
And then also shout out to Amari Cooper for breaking 1,000 yards again. And I think he set some record with like receiving yards, and he's on his like third quarterback. Like he's played with 4 different quarterbacks this year, and it's incredible what he's done. He's very, very quiet in like the media. You don't see him. I actually have followed him since like 2015 on Twitter. He has not tweeted since like 14. So
any retweets though?
No, nothing. Nothing. He's been quiet, but he just goes in, does his job, and I think because he's so quiet, but he's the number one. He's almost like underrated. Like he's not going to make the noise like Kelsey. Kelsey's just a big personality, and he's going to make some noise. Kittle also. But Mari just does his job and does it well, and I'm glad to see that he's had a lot of number one success, even with the quarterback situation being so shitty.
It's only fun when they back it up, right? Like, it's when you got guys like Antonio Brown, just talking trash all over. Back it up, man.
It gets so old so fast with that guy, man. Like
Mike Thomas this year too, like.
Yeah. He got really old really quick for me because he just signed like $100 million and then like did all that stupid crap.
And he was still trying to come off as an underdog. Like, dude, no, we know you might be the best in the game. Like, you're not an underdog anymore. Yeah. Stop playing that card.
Yeah, I hate it. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. We got
Falcons and Bucks.
So the Bucks, I think you mentioned in your article, their biggest implication in this game is they're playing for the 5th seed, correct?
That's correct. If they win, they get to play whoever the NFC East winner is going to be. They'll play the 4 seed. The line has jumped up about a point. When I wrote my article, $6.50. I don't care. They're at home. I think they've just been rolling lately. Falcons, I think, are just they're just there. I mean, they had an inspired effort last week against the Chiefs, but
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what do you guys think? Like, I'll add this to the buy or sell list here. Are you buying the Atlanta Falcons defense in week 17? Like, past couple of weeks, their defense has been really good. They stepped up to the Kansas City Chiefs last week. I mean,
no one else has done this year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, they held them to a missed Young-Hoo Koo field goal. That game should have been going into overtime. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you guys think? Are they coming back this week up against the Bucks? And I guess on the reverse, are you buying the Bucks offense that they keep the same pace? Like I've said it a couple weeks ago, they got to get Antonio Brown rolling. He's rolling for them. They got all their receivers hitting here. What do you guys think?
They opened up a Golden Corral buffet, as I like to say, on the Lions. Everybody was eating.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a good test, right? Like Falcons, shut down a really good offense last week, maybe the best in the game. Another one that's probably top 5. I'm going to go with the Bucks, though.
Okay.
I just don't think Atlanta can do it. That team also, like to your point on buying or selling, I think Raheem Morris has made a pretty good case to be their next head coach next year. They've been playing a lot more inspired. He inherited a team that was in the hole, but I just think it's the Bucks need this game. The Bucks don't want to mess around and go to either New Orleans, go to Seattle, go to Green Bay in the first round. When they could go to the NFC East and have whoever that's going to be have a more favorable matchup.
It's December and Tampa Bay has Tom and Atlanta also had a defense that took them to the Super Bowl, and he just diced them up in a single half of the Super Bowl. So really, I'm buying this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Really, I was facing Tom in fantasy last week for the championship, and he crushed me. I was facing him, Kamara, and someone else. I really got housed. It was awful.
There's nothing you can do, man.
Yeah, I'm not upset. I accept the results, but
you cashed.
Yeah, for me, with watching how Tom spread the ball around to all the receivers, for me in my head, it was just like, finally the playbook clicks in his head. Like
Mhm.
he's not having to think about it. He's just playing and he's actually doing his progressions like he was in New England.
Mhm.
It did take almost 17 weeks of the regular season for him to really hit his stride, but it's rolling into the playoffs. And I don't see Atlanta's defense being able to stop Tom. Tom's just able to do certain things.
Mhm.
And I think he's going to blow him out. I think he's going to cover 7.5 and 50. Yeah, I can see 2 touchdowns coming from Calvin Ridley, passing and catching. So 50, I'm going to take the over on that.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little opposite there. I'm going to take the Falcons to cover, Buccaneers to win, and the under. I feel like the Falcons defense does come to play. Raheem Morris, like you mentioned, he's interviewing for a head coaching job this week. He wants to provide some results still. You know, he wants to show that he's still the guy there. So I think the Falcons have still a little bit more to play for. You know, I feel like that's there. You know, we've seen all the talk about, you know, the next GM has the right to move Matt Ryan, move Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And we have seen both of those players come out and say, hey, we're good right where we're at. Yep. We're cool. So maybe Raheem Morris is the answer. And I feel like the Falcons do have a little bit more to play for this week than people are anticipating. So I think the Buccaneers still win. Like Nick mentioned, you know, was it death, taxes, and Tom Brady in December? You know, those things are just always going to be there. So, yeah, I'd take Tom Brady for the win. But I think the Falcons do enough to cover. If they can cover up against the Chiefs, I feel like they can cover up against the Bucs. They're on the road. It's not a great spot, but, you know, it's still a division rival, and I'll take the under. I think it'll be a good game. Buccaneers still, you know, like you said, still take home the win now. What's the next one we got up? Ravens and Cincinnati.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep. So, man, Ravens, 13-point favorites. Can they do it?
Absolutely. The last 3 weeks for a team that's been struggling, they got the gift of the NFL schedule makers. They got the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Bengals, and they were double-digit favorites in all of them. They've covered in all of them. They've done a really good job at beating the shit out of bad teams, and I think they're going to do it again here. The Bengals have shown some life recently, but I think the Ravens know it. If they win, they're in. If they lose and the Colts win, which is probably going to happen, they would be out. So the Ravens need this one bad, and I think you're going to see a big game from Lamar, who's, I think, 95 yards away from, I think, being the first quarterback ever to back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons.
Nice. I love it. What do you think, Nick?
Baltimore has really struggled this year, and I was expecting a lot more like dominance in the New York game, and I really didn't see that. Like they were able to score the points, but it wasn't like their offense where I was like, oh man, like, you know, I see them like really taking the momentum from this game and putting it forward to the next game. Cincinnati, on the other hand, they've been playing a little bit inspired. I mean, the practice squad connection between Brandon Allen and AJ Green has really paid off.
AJ Green on the practice squad.
Drew Sample did get a touchdown last week. I think that there is absolutely a possibility that the Ravens could lose. And I'm going to say that the Bengals at least cover, and I'm going to say it's going to be the under. I think it's going to be a close game, like 2017 either way.
Well, I'm not taking the Ravens to cover. That's a big number. If you guys follow us, you know I don't like the double-digit spreads. That's what I stay away from. So definitely not picking them to cover. But I do like a win and the under. I feel like the Ravens defense, I'm starting them in DFS. I feel like they come to play here, and I feel like they score a touchdown or two maybe. I feel like you're right, Nick, that the Bengals defense has actually come to play. They've shown some pride, some respect, and I feel like they could slow the Ravens down at some point. So I'm gonna take the under and the Ravens to win here. But I agree. I think that the Bengals could cover, you know, something sneaky at the end of the game where maybe the Ravens kind of let off the gas pedal as they did up against the Giants. I could see something like that happening. So I'll take the Bengals to cover, Ravens to win, and I'm going to take the under. What did you go take your total pick?
Total. I'm going to go with the under. I don't think the Bengals are going to score. I see this being like 27-3 Ravens.
I could see something like that as well.
Come on, touchdown for AJ Green. I have to see it happening.
If you got him in DFS, I pray for you. He's got good value. I think he's like in the low 5,000s on FanDuel. Thank you. Next one up, we got, what is it? Jags, or we already did Jags Colts. We went over that one. Packers Bears, or no, Arizona Rams.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, Arizona and the Rams. Where you at? -3.5 for the Cardinals. They are road favorites. -173 on the money line. We got a total here of 40.5 points.
Yep.
Am I crazy to just say that's a lock to hit the over?
Yeah. Has anyone seen the videos of John Wolford?
Which ones?
There was a video circulating. I saw this on Facebook actually. So it was a video of him going against the number ones for the defense of the Rams.
Mhm.
And this guy was just cooking. And it wasn't like he was, chucking deep balls or making extremely accurate passes, but he was being efficient and also making decision making. He wasn't being Justin has said a stat where, Jared Goff has completed like 80% of his passes within 2 seconds of the snap. Wolford does not need that. He doesn't need to be told where the ball is. He can actually read the defense. And you could see he was getting pressured. He was making the pocket move, and then he was taking those yardage up the field, and keeping the offense moving. And he was impressing everybody. So I'm going to take the Rams to upset the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals, I think they got some good players on the team. Isaiah Simmons, Hassan Reddick. There are some players on that team that can definitely lead them into the future. Obviously, Kyler Murray and Christian Kirk. But I think Wolford is going to give them a different look than what they're expecting. And Cliff Kingsbury is not a defensive coach. He's only an offensive mind. So I don't think he'll be able to handle the change of quarterback because Jared Goff and John Wolford are very different quarterbacks.
What do you think about the total?
Over.
All right.
So John Wolford, when I was doing a little bit of research on him because this game has heavy implications for our Bears, he was actually the touchdown leader in the AAF.
I had him on my AAF fantasy team.
You liar.
I did. It was 3 weeks long. I mean, the season wasn't.
Yeah. So he had a little bit of success, right? That was the league. That was 2 years ago before the XFL came back.
Dang, it's 2 years since that.
Yeah.
Time flies.
It was a league, but it was like they played 4 games.
They had some good stuff happen. But so he has played. He's been on this team, and I think the other thing I'm relying on here is Sean McVay is 7-0 against the Cardinals since he's been the Rams head coach, and he's a guy who, similar to what we were saying earlier about Kyle Shanahan, he is just a good schemer of his players. He knows, like we all saw what Jared Goff looked like before Sean McVay got there. He looked like trash. Sean McVay, and he did something that's very commonsensical, right? What do you do well? Let me help you do that, right?
Drive the bus.
And he knows that with this win, right, he gets in the playoffs. The Rams aren't in the playoffs either. The winner of this game is going to the playoffs. So I think what he's going to do, it sucks that they have Cam Akers out. Did we get any update on Cooper Kupp? I know he was placed on the COVID list.
He was placed on COVID.
Yeah, so we won't know yet.
No.
It was early. He was placed on the list early enough where he could make it back, but he has to get cleared. Cam Akers is out.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown is questionable. So I like some Darrell Henderson this week in some DFS.
That would be a good play. So, I mean, obviously, if Kupp is not there, that does worry me. I think they need him. I think the Rams can pull off the upset. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I actually would go with the under.
Okay.
I think McVay's going to rely more on the run game. So Henderson's going to have to shoulder the big load. But I think he's going to put Wolford in a position, like Nick mentioned, to succeed. McVay's a smart guy. There's a reason he's kept him around. Your quarterback's always one hit away. So I think he's seen something in him. They have the guy Blake Bortles back on the team as well. So we'll see. So I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the under.
I'm going to take the Rams money line, and I'm going to go with the over here.
One other thing I wanted to add: Kyler Murray is not healthy. There was talk earlier in the week that he might miss. He's got a lower leg injury, so
I think he'll play no matter what.
He'll play no matter what. But his big skill is his ability to run and his speed. That's going to be hampered by a little bit. And against Aaron Donald and our boy Leonard Floyd and that team, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I could see that. I do respect the total, because of those factors. But I feel like both of these teams, they need a win. An ugly win is not what they're going to want to get into the playoffs. They're going to come out with urgency. They're going to come out and want to show pride, right? I mean, the Cardinals, it sucks that they're on the road to close it out here. But the Rams, I just love them. I feel like, everything that Nick said about Wolford, pumping me up even more. I feel like with one running back there, they'll just kind of be able to figure it out and just flood things through him if Kupp is out. So I'm going to take the Rams plus 153, and I'm going to take the over 40.5 points. The next one we have up, I believe, is the football team and the Eagles.
Yep.
Football team and the Eagles. We got a 3-point spread. Football team favored on the road, minus 155 on the money line. Got a total of 43.5 points here. I kind of like the under and a football team win. Miles Sanders is out for this game. Alex Smith is practicing in a limited capacity. It sounds like he's going to be the guy there. But honestly, Taylor Heineke didn't look that bad.
Nope.
Looked better than Haskins.
They had life.
And with Haskins in there, they've been literally a possession away from wins.
Yep.
So if Heineke can get in there and do it, I still trust him. Alex Smith is in there. It's a home run in my opinion. I think they're going to the playoffs. What do you guys think?
No.
No.
I think the Eagles are going to win. I'm not sure. Did Jalen Hurts actually play the last time they played Washington?
No, that was the first game of the season.
So even though they have like the veteran coaches Rivera and they have Jack Del Rio, Jalen Hurts is just a different type of quarterback than what they're used to in their experience. They're used to that drop back quarterback. They are getting more used to the mobile quarterbacks, but I just don't see them being able to game plan around him because they only have so much tape on him, and there isn't really, they're able to rush the quarterback, but they aren't able to stop the run. So I mean, Boston Scott could possibly have a big game. Even though they have big boom John Bostic, I still don't see them having to win. If it's Heineke, they're definitely not going to win. If it's Smith, there's definitely a chance, but he's not 100%. And it's the leg that's actually messed up that he's having this calf issue with. So even if he plays, he might not be able to play a full game. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they have 3 Pro Bowlers in their front 7. And most of them are defensive linemen, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and I don't know who the other one is, but they got Derek Barnett, who's also he broke Reggie White's sack record at Tennessee when he was there. So they got some big hog mollies up there that can both stop the run and rush the passer, and they don't really have a mobile quarterback back there. So I'm going to say Philadelphia wins.
Yeah, unfortunately for my buddies that are the fans of the football team, I really did want them to win. I thought last week was their shot. Heineke did show some life last week, but again, I don't know how much of that's just fool's gold and them just being down by a certain amount. If Smith plays, I think they can win. Without him, it's really a toss-up. You would need I think the other recipe for success could be, a big day from your defense. They handled them last time. Like Nick said, this is a different quarterback. My play is probably going to be Eagles on the, Eagles definitely the +3, and I think the under as well. So I think the Washington defense is going to keep them under control, and not having Miles Sanders is going to hurt.
What do you guys think if Antonio Gibson's back in the lineup? He's trending to be in the lineup, but he's not practicing.
That's going to be a big help to that offense. I think they can funnel a lot through him. It makes me a little bit more, optimistic that they could pull it out no matter who the quarterback is. But it helps.
It gives them a chance, but they're kind of like it's kind of like getting a strength against the strength of the Philadelphia Eagles. Like he's going to be rushing against Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and Derek Barnett, and it's just going to be an issue. I mean, he had a really good season, but every time someone comes back from injury, I never expect the same kind of production when they were before injury.
Sure.
There are some guys that actually do it, and sometimes I am wrong, but I always proceed with caution, and especially against a team with 3 Pro Bowlers in their front 7. I'm kind of cautious with that.
Yeah, I don't want to start him in DFS. That's for sure. No. If he's back in the lineup, I'm going to be slamming the football team on the money line. I like the under, though. I still think that it's going to be a dogfight for both of these teams. I still think that Hurts does find some issues at some point here, but he's been the dude that's unlocked everybody. Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Miles Sanders. I mean, he's been propping up all the value for you guys in fantasy in this lineup here. So, yeah, I have faith in them, but I just don't feel like they're going to get it done. I feel like the football team obviously has more to play for. They win, they're in. And I feel like it's going to be a lot of J.D. McKissick and Logan Thomas this week. Those guys have been on fire for people in fantasy and DFS. So I'm going to continue to fire those guys up. I still feel like they're going to be able to, help this team, stay within, at least a possession of the Eagles here. You're in that space. You always have a shot to win. Last one. Go ahead.
I said when we were going over the list, I was like, we should hold this off for like the last one. So I know you guys got some thoughts. So
you guys want to go first?
You mean our prayers?
Yeah. No, go ahead. You guys definitely just go ahead, speak.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so this is obviously the biggest game on Sunday for me, right? And Justin and all the Bears fans playing the Packers, winning you're in. Weird ass season. It feels like it's been 3 seasons in one, just like this 2020's felt, right?
Yeah.
5-1 start, 6-game losing streak.
It's been a long time, but How about them Bears?
How about them Bears, man? So they're 3-0. Their offense has scored 30 points in 4 straight games. It's kind of all started against the Packers. Everybody says that, it's a competition. Well, I didn't see the Green Bay Packers score, more than 24 points against the Jaguars. So that's what I'll say to that. Like, everybody's like, it's bad defenses. Well, other great offenses have played them and not done the same thing.
Yeah.
So, for me in this game, obviously I'm not going to pick the Bears to lose, but I think, we were talking before the show. Packers had a pretty big injury. Happened yesterday. They lost their starting tackle, All-Pro David Bakhtiari. So that's in favor of the Bears. Not wishing injury to anybody, but it's got to call what it is from a football perspective.
It helps.
That's going to help. Also, in the last time these two teams played, when the Packers kicked their ass, Akeem Hicks didn't play. He's also going to play. Mitch is coming off not playing for 4 weeks as well. Now he's coming off 4 weeks of playing the best football he's ever played.
Yep.
So I think in this game, it's kind of also like fitting. The first game of the Trubisky-Nagy era was against the Packers. I think they're going to win, and I think the reason they're going to win is I think it's going to be the offense. I think they're going to really rely on David Montgomery. I think they're going to find their spots. And what I'm hoping, the reason they actually lost their last game wasn't because of the offense, surprisingly. It's because their defense was getting their ass kicked on every play by Rodgers. Pagano said he's going to leave nothing in the chamber this week. You got Akeem Hicks back. They have a vulnerability on their left tackle. I'm hoping to see a lot of blitzes, and I would hope and pray, but I know they're not going to do this, that they go away from their tendencies of having Kyle Fuller just stay on one side of the field. If Jalen Johnson doesn't play, who's been this promising corner, I think they should have Fuller go wherever Adams goes. And I think the recipe for this game is the Bears defense hitting Rodgers. The one game the Packers got out played this year, like where they just got their ass kicked, was against the Bucs, where they lost by 4 touchdowns. The reason being was Bucs blitzed them, I think it was 53% of the time. They got in his face. Rodgers got up 10-0 early, but eventually it started getting home. He got uncomfortable, and they took over. So I think the Bears are going to win. It's going to be an upset. No one's picking them to win. I like the over 50 as well.
I feel like a lot of people are picking them to win.
I don't know where you see that.
No, I'm picking them. I'm picking them to win. A lot of picks I see is just they're the playoff team that's driving it. I'm taking the under though. I don't know if Allen Robinson plays. He's not practicing.
I think he will. He's been banged up the last couple of weeks. Not to steal thunder, but I think this is it, right?
No, well, he has to play. But if he doesn't, then yeah, sure, I'll pick the Packers to win if I have to put my money where my mouth is. But yeah, I'm picking the Bears to win. They're the team that needs it. We could at some point see some rest for the Packers. I don't believe this is a game where Aaron Rodgers, we've said it before, he can beat the Bears in one half. I don't think that's this type of game. The Bears are playing it at home. They need the win. They need the dub. Hicks is back, like you said. Pagano's not going to leave anything left on the field here for the defense. But I like the under. I like the Bears win. I don't like the spread. I'm completely staying away from it. What do you think, Nick? Take our hopes away.
Yeah, I'm going to say Packers are going to win. I do think that the Bears have had some offensive success that's been popping off lately. Like Mitch Trubisky's, looked pretty good. And, like me and Justin said, he's definitely played for his contract. He's going to get paid next year by somebody.
Doesn't matter who.
Doesn't matter who. But with David Bakhtiari, tearing his ACL, and he's not to be like rude, but he's only a left tackle, and he's a pretty good one. He's a pretty good one, but even with like the average one, there are some plays that you can get off, and I think that the plays that Aaron Rodgers has available to make some plays, he's going to get it off, and he's going to make some plays. And I think that the defense for the Packers is going to be able to stop the Mitch train. The Mitch train has been coming for the past couple weeks, but it's like he's going to turn back into a pumpkin. And I feel like that's what's going to happen against the Packers this week. So I'm going to take the Packers to cover. I'm going to say the over. I'm going to say that it's going to go high, 25 points each. I see that absolutely possible for both teams. But I see that the Green Bay Packers are going to win.
Last thing for this one I wanted to add, the last time the Bears had to play against the Packers in a win-in-your situation was in 2018. I was at that game, and Trubisky played his ass off. Not the same Packers team, but he's done it once before. They've done it once before. They're not the boogeyman. It'll be an anxious game.
All right on. Let's jump into some buy or sell to close down the show. We already kind of talked about Raheem Morris really quick. Buy or sell Raheem Morris as the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons in 2021.
So. Not because he doesn't deserve it, because I think they are going to drink the Kool-Aid. I think because they fired their GM, right? They fired Dimitroff.
Yep.
So it's also with that, it's very now if they had finished as a playoff team or like 8-8 or something, I think this case is stronger.
They waited too long.
Didn't they start 0-5? Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I think
they were not making the playoffs there.
Yeah. So I just think the new GM is going to come and he's going to want his guy.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the case. I'm going to be selling it as well. And I feel like they just want to test the market. There's no reason to pull the trigger on somebody right now. The fact that he's interviewing now, I mean, obviously he has some advantages, right, going for him. What he was able to do with the team, how he was able to turn around the defense specifically. But at the same time, this team was still blowing leads. You know what I mean? Like they were continuously blowing 20-point leads, double-digit leads. And I just feel like he actually didn't do enough. He got the team better. But at the same time, like there just isn't enough there for me. So I'm going to say hard sell as well. What do you think about J.J. Watt returning to the Texans? Buy or sell J.J. Watt, a Texan in 2021?
Sell. He doesn't want to go back.
I'm going to sell as well. Where are you buying him in 2021? What are some destinations?
Steelers.
That's what I was going to say.
The Watt connection.
They're going to lose, but they're going to lose Bud Dupree because they're not going to pay him. One way or another, I think he's going to end up with his brother.
I could see it. I could see it. Tomlin loves him a Watt. Said
he's got both of them. He's got 2 of the 3, I think.
Yeah, he's
fullback.
Yeah,
they're like in the Infinity Stones. Collect all 3 and snap away the league.
J.J. Watt will win his first Super Bowl if he goes to Pittsburgh.
Wow, that'd be wild. And they're talking about Big Ben coming back next year. That'd be crazy.
That'll be Big Ben's right off into the sunset. He'll have that defense because they did the same thing with Jerome Bettis. He had that last year and they got to Super Bowl. And Big Ben was, I think, second year rookie. That's crazy. Year. So they're going to do the same thing for Big Ben.
His rookie year, he didn't lose a game until the AFC Championship came up against the Colts, I believe. That was wild. Actually, an XFL, what was it? Who was it? The starter?
Maddox.
Tommy Maddox, XFL quarterback.
LA Extreme quarterback.
He beat our Chicago, was it Punishers? Enforcers in the XFL finals.
The original XFL.
And then moved over to the NFL, and then Big Ben has just usurped him ever since. It's kind of wild.
Yeah,
it's kind of a funny story. That would be a fun Steelers team to see in 2021. Little updates on the MVP odds. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is leading the way. Mahomes is at plus 380 at FanDuel Sportsbook. Buy or sell Mahomes as the still the MVP top dog for 2020.
So it's going to go to Rodgers.
Man, we're all selling everything. Poor Pat Mahomes.
I wanted to go to Mahomes, but he's not even playing this week.
Yeah.
And so Rodgers already has more touchdowns than him, and he's going to probably add a couple more this weekend. So
I agree. I mean, we've been kind of banging the Aaron Rodgers drum here. I kind of thought we'd get kind of a different take there from one of you guys. But yeah, I mean, we all agree. This one, I think we might be able to get a little bit of different strokes on. Brian Flores right now leading the way for Coach of the Year at plus 100, which I do not. Yeah, exactly. I do not agree with that. Sean McDermott's at plus 150. Kevin Stefanski's at plus 700. And Ron Rivera's behind him at plus 1,500. Buy or sell any of those guys. I'm going to say sell Flores as Coach of the Year. Cannot stand that he's leading the way. I feel the whole Fitzpatrick.
Where do we start?
Yeah,
where do we start?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Fitzpatrick was a top 10 quarterback when he was pulled. The team was winning. They wanted to see what they got out of Tua. Sure, it worked, but did it?
No, he needed Fitzpatrick to be a closer.
Exactly.
The Coach of the Year is actually Fitzpatrick. That's the real thing.
The manager. I like Stefanski.
I'm hedging my bet between McDermott and Ron Rivera just because Ron Rivera has that story. We were talking about that list before the show, and I was like, man, Ron Rivera he's plus 1,500. So I was like, man, that's the story about it. And even being in the playoff race and even dealing with all the Haskins talk, if he wins the playoffs, I think that Rivera absolutely has it.
It makes a very, very good story. The cancer, the terrible culture that he had to come in and completely wash away, right? The balancing of the quarterbacks, Kyle Allen, Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith, gone to a fourth quarterback and Taylor Heinicke still. If they make the playoffs, it's a strong case.
Sold.
So my pick is before last week was Flores or Stefanski because Flores took over the Dolphins and everybody was joking. Oh, and he took over tanking for two. And in the last 8 games last year, they won 5, including upsetting the Patriots. And this year they're a 10-5 with a win. They're going to go to the playoffs, right? And that's a major turnaround in just 2 short years for that team. He's built a winning program, and I think it's a sustainable one. The coaching, I agree with the Fitzpatrick and Tua thing. It's just that is not. It just seems very confusing. Like you're
just making mismanagement. That's it.
Yeah,
like that's all you're doing.
You're not a coach.
If you don't trust your starting quarterback to run your 2-minute drill or at the end of the game, stick with the guy you do trust
for the whole game.
Yeah, and I mean, so that I agree with you guys there. Stefanski, I did like the job he did in Cleveland too, because that team, not just this team, but that's just been a history with that franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've had issues. The Jets game really, really bothered me because he seemed like a really smart guy to me. Like not relying on your running backs and just letting that game get out of hand.
Yeah,
that was a little bit of because that's another team. They would have if they had won last week, they would have clinched the playoffs. And I would have said he would have been my guy.
And that's what I'm saying is that this team could be way better than what their record is right now. If they had just kept Fitz in the entire time, let Tua learn from Fitz. We've seen legendary quarterbacks do this. Aaron Rodgers didn't play for what, 2 years? 3 years. Thank you. Rivers, exactly. Like there is a playbook for this. There is a formula to untap your guy, Mahomes, exactly, and without asking him to do a ton, right? And honestly, I feel like Fitzpatrick, if he was in the entire time, this is a game that we could have seen. Fitz actually sit out and Tua just plays as a backup.
Yeah,
kind of like Mahomes did for the Chiefs.
Well, this game would have. This game probably would have been for the division.
I guess I'm saying they could have been better. The team just looked that good to me with that defense, with the way that Fitzpatrick was playing with Devontae Parker. Like Flores downgraded Parker's value.
Oh, absolutely.
In immense ways for fantasy owners, for Parker's just general progression. I know he was hurt a little bit, but when he wasn't, they weren't getting what they could get out of him because of the quarterback situation.
Not even 100 passing yards, Joe.
Exactly. Preston Williams was kind of the Tua's guy, right, out of the gate, and then he got hurt. And I was like, okay, well, now we expect some more for Parker. Nope. We're just going to flood everything to Mike Gesicki. It's very frustrating.
And run the ball a million times. Why did you change the quarterback then?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hate that they ran the ball a lot, but they kind of had to with Tua there. Like you just had to protect him, right? But no, they should have kept Fitz in the entire time. The team would have a way better record. Probably already have the playoffs already secured. Now they have to do it up against Buffalo.
Yeah,
That's their fault.
Hate. Safe money. Give me Kevin Stefanski. I like a little risk with the Ron Rivera. Sean McDermott is solid too, though. It's like that's really tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, McDermott should get props too. Because that team grew a lot from last year. They didn't make the playoffs. Rivera, I think, is a good one too. It's just
the story's just there. That's all it is. It's not the team success.
Just looking at the team success, right? It's like even if they win, go to the playoffs, they're going to be what? Are they going to be 8-9 or 7-9?
7-9.
Right? It's 7-9.
7-9.
So versus teams that are going to do double digits win. So it'll be interesting who comes up with it.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good finish for the year. Last one we got up here is Allen Robinson. Is he returning to a Chicago or as a Chicago Bear in 2021? Buy or sell?
Sell. It's not. He doesn't want to come back.
I have to say sell as well. What do you think, Imran?
I don't think he wants to come back. Yeah. I would say sell. I mean,
it's pretty disappointing.
If they win this game or win a playoff game, that could change. Because
I think he's seen behind the red curtain in Chicago, and I think he knows it's not a good situation. I mean, we're not bringing in top tier guys. He was the top tier guy that we brought in. Yeah. We've drafted David Montgomery. We've drafted Cole Kmet. Now we need to hit on those guys. Tariq Cohen we've brought in. We have not signed the high level production guys that are producing for us, right? Allen Robinson was it. Jimmy Graham was brought in for $10 million for a year, but he's got to get out of here.
Where's Anthony Miller? Where's Anthony Miller?
But another guy that we drafted that we just didn't hit on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that happened with him. Miller was somebody who's supposed to be that guy. Like when he was coming out in 2018, he was getting a lot of pub, and he made some. He made some impact. For 7, led the team in touchdowns his first year, doubled his catches in year 2. This year completely fell off, and Darnell Mooney took his spot.
Yep. Who could very well take off next year with Allen Robinson dipping out.
He would have done it this year. There's done 3 different 80-yard touchdowns that he couldn't have because his quarterback couldn't throw within 5 yards of him. So it's I think with him, I think just I would love for him to stay because I think he would break every record they have. And he's even though he fights with Bears fans every other week, he did a lot of good things for them. I think for him, he would love the opportunity to play with a superstar quarterback.
Yep.
Playing with, Foles, Trubisky, Blake Bortles, Christian Hackenberg. The guy, I'm sure he would want to play with.
Say it. I was
going to Green Bay.
I was going to say where else other than Green Bay could he go, and I was going to say potentially the Lions, but it's not the best.
He's not going to go to the Lions.
It's not a great situation.
That would be a step back, honestly, because that team is a shit show. I think he would go and I don't think he's going to chase the money. because I've seen a lot of Giants fans and Jets fans on Twitter. Oh, we'll go sign Allen Robinson. I don't think he's going to take a step down. I think he's going to go to a contender. He might even sacrifice a little bit of money. So I could see him going to the Packers, which would make a lot of sense because he wants to just middle finger the Bears, and he'd play with that superstar quarterback. And the Packers have haven't had that in a while.
Right.
Ravens would make a lot of sense to me too. That team really needs
mine
because I think that's going to make that offense move. That would make them take off.
I wouldn't want to go there.
Quarterback situation, right?
Just the play calling.
Yeah, it's still run based.
Yeah. What about like the Chargers?
So I was close with that one. I like the Chargers too, but I was going to say the Raiders in that same division.
Man, I just because the thing is like you don't really know the quarterback situation in Las Vegas.
We have a very good relationship with John Gruden. He really likes to give us things. I feel like we could get some first round picks for Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to do that. I would like to do a tag and trade and just not lose him for a compensatory pick in 2 years. But I think just thinking from his perspective, if he's going to leave there, I think he's going to want to go to a team that has a superstar quarterback.
Sure. No, I agree. I agree with you.
And I mean, I don't know Houston because I don't think Houston has that, but they're not going to be competing anytime soon.
But the coach that's coming in, you
never know.
The word you always hear is that Eric Bieniemy is going to Houston because he wants to coach Deshaun Watson. If I was Allen Robinson, Houston would probably be one of my first destinations because, man, if I get on board with Deshaun Watson and he's young, he's like 20, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. He's 24. Yeah. So he's got some years and he could basically ride out the rest of his time in Houston.
Yeah. But that team they're so screwed though.
They're going to be struggling.
But he's going to get the touches. He's going to get the touches.
But do you want the touches? Or
I think he wants the touches. Because if he gets the touches, he's going to win. And I think that's what it is.
He does get the touches now. He actually leads the league in contested catches right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's like what, third in catches or something. Like, he's getting the targets now. I think it just depends on what he wants.
Yeah.
Like the money he can get the money from if he wants money, he's gonna go to the Jets.
What if Tom Brady's still in Tampa Bay and one of those receivers dips out like an Antonio Brown?
No, Godwin's actually in a contract here. He's probably gonna be a free agent too.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You could bring in Allen Robinson in for cheaper potentially. I don't know.
I don't think he's put up some gaudy numbers.
Well, but that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
What do you chase? Is he chasing the money? Is he chasing a ring?
And he's still young.
Touches.
Doesn't it feel like he's been in the NFL forever?
Yeah.
He's only going to be 27 going into next year. How insane is that?
And if he goes to a big team with a big arm, it could unlock him. The Ravens I love the most just because of the need, but who's going to go there and do that? Like who's going to make that commitment to that offense? And I don't know. I feel like that could be a team that has to really find their next big receiver in the draft.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You guys got anything to close it down with? That takes care of number 90 here.
Nope.
It's going to be it's interesting Sunday. Last Sunday, the football season, always a little bittersweet. But playoffs are going to be exciting, guys. Six games, the first week. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped, closing it down here. It's been a fun ride with you guys for everyone that's come out and, ridden with us for the whole year. We're looking forward to jumping back into it here.
Yep.
We'll have once we hit the playoffs, once we get like the final schedule, we'll drop what day we're going to do. Go live. We're just going to pick our favorite playoff matchup and just kind of take it from there. We coming back tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
Saturday.
Oh fuck, Monday. Jesus.
I was like tomorrow.
Monday. We'll be back Monday for the Week 17 recap. Kind of go over some finishing touches for the year. Maybe jump into some awards talk and preview. Oh, do we have a Monday night football game? Actually,
no, we don't. Everything's on Sunday.
Sunday's the last game.
Never mind then. I guess we're not. So I'll see you guys next week for basketball. And what is it? Our next show on the weekend. So next week we'll do a Saturday or Sunday game. We'll just pick the best playoff matchup and go from there. So really appreciate you guys stopping by, riding with us. You guys take care. Be well. We'll see you next time. Be good,
guys. Bye.